Good evening and welcome to National Broadcasting News India, tonight's news update. Here are the top stories. A major heat wave affected over 185 million people across the US, Midwest, South, and East Coast. Record breaking highs were reported in cities like Tampa, Memphis, St. Louis, and more. Conditions improved midway through the weeks as Canadian air brought relief. The US cancelled a scheduled meeting with Taiwan as it prepared for imminent trade talks with China, signaling tensions and strategic recalibration in relations with both parties. The euro regained some strength, up 0.2% versus the dollar, though it nears a monthly loss. Markets await US Federal Reserve and Japan policy cues following the EU-US trade deal. The ECB's wage tracker shows Eurozone wage growth will show from 4.6% to around 3.2% in 2025, implying inflation has peaked and supporting steady monetary policy. Lesbos, one humanitarian symbol in the 2015 migration crisis, is now Europe's hardened frontier. Aid work is criminalized, remote migrant camps are under construction, and arrivals on the island are down dramatically. A magnitude 8.8 earthquake struck off Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula, triggering tsunami warnings across the Pacific, including in Japan. Waves of 40 to 50 centimeters affected Hokkaido and Miyagi prefectures. Around 2 million people were evacuated. Minor injuries and localized damage reported. Despite the tsunami alert, the Liverpool vs. Yokohama F. Marinos friendly in Tokyo went ahead as planned. Matchday changes were announced. Diaz Neri moved to Bayern, Nunes injured, Gomez sidelined, McAllister returning, and Ekitike set for debut. Heat-related illness spiked in Japan, with over 10,000 hospital admissions reported in a single week in July, including 16 deaths amid persistent 35 degrees Celsius plus temperatures across many prefectures. Japan's antitrust regulator released new guidelines targeting dominance in the app market, primarily focusing on Apple and Google. The policy bans discriminatory treatment of non-native app stores and aims to boost competition and lower app costs. At the 2025 Summer World University Games in Rhine-Ruhr, Germany, Japan topped the medal table with 34 golds, 22 silvers, and 27 bronze, excelling in gymnastics and volleyball, among others. Lions Trophy Parade. England's women's football team, Euro 2025 champions, were celebrated in a grand open-top bus parade from Admiralty House to Buckingham Palace, drawing massive crowds and praise for inspiring girls' sports. New astronomer royal appointed. Professor Michel Daughtery, a leading space physics expert and PI on the JUICE mission to Jupiter, has been officially nominated by the King as the next astronomer royal, succeeding Lord Rees. BAE Systems upgrades forecast. The British defense firm expects full-year earnings to grow 9 to 11%, up from prior guidance following a strong H1 with a 13% rise in operating earnings. Growth is driven by rising defense demand amid global tensions. UK summer weather shifts. After record-breaking June and several heat waves, forecasters expect southern England temps to reach low 30% degrees Celsius late in the week. Cooler conditions and scattered thunderstorms remain likely in Wales and Scotland, with generally brighter spells through mid-August. Bank of Canada holds rates at 2.75%. In line with the polling, the central bank is expected to maintain its overnight rate. Economists foresee at least one rate cut later in 2025 despite stubborn core inflation and mixed economic indicators. Parents and Grandparents Program reopened. As of July 28, IRCC has begun issuing invitations to apply under the PGP, allowing citizens and permanent residents to sponsor their elders for Canadian permanent residency. Applications are due by October 9, 2025. Canadian retail updates. Prime Day sales rose 9% year on year. Major news includes layoffs at Canadian Tire, closure of 11 beer stores outlets in southern Ontario, the largest rooftop solar project by Loblaw, and the legacy of Fried and Fried's Hudson's Bay design. Gulf economy set to rebound in 2025 thanks to boosted oil production and diversification into tourism and infrastructure. The UAE's GDP is projected to grow 4.8%, outpacing most peers while inflation stays modest. UAE and Saudi Arabia break into global top 20 for AI talent ahead of Italy and Russia as the UAE pushes strategic reforms and private sector collaboration to build its AI workforce. UAE leads global hiring outlook in Q3 2025 with a 48% net employment sentiment, highest worldwide, making it particularly attractive to students and skilled professionals. Two Thai women became first farmers awarded UAE golden visas due to their work cultivating date palms abroad, expanding eligibility beyond usual categories like investors and scientists. Aldar Properties posted a 24% rise in H1 profit, propelled by record backlog and strong international demand, particularly from Chinese buyers, accounting for 84% of UAE sales. First Abu Dhabi Bank beats expectations, logging a 29% surge in Q2 net profit as revenue grew across lending and non-interesting segments, boosted by investments in technology and AI. Dubai Airports confirms no long-term damage from regional conflict, as DXB handled a record 46 million passengers in H1 2025 and is forecast to see 96 M by year-end. NSDL IPO sold out within hours. The Rs 40 billion National Securities Depository Limited IPO was fully subscribed on its first day, reflecting stronger investor confidence in India's growing securities infrastructure. Indian rupee sinks amid tariff fears. The rupee weakened to 87.11 to 87.13 per USD, its lowest since mid-March as fears of steep new US tariffs on Indian exports mounted. Analysts report the Reserve Bank of India likely intervened in forex markets to stabilize the currency. Cautious market open ahead of Fed decision. Indian equity futures pointed to a muted start on Wednesday, with foreign investors offloading over Rs 46 billion as uncertainty over US Federal Reserve policy and trade talks weighed on sentiment. UK-India trade talks and tariffs. With no final deal by the August 1st deadline, President Trump warned of possible higher US tariffs on Indian goods. Comprehensive bilateral negotiations are planned for mid-August, aiming for a full agreement by October. Schneider Electric acquires entire India JV. Schneider Electric agreed to buy Temasek's 35% stake in its Indian business for €5.5 billion, solidifying its commitment to India as a global strategic hub with 31 factories and multiple distribution centers. Digital Library Initiative in YP in schools. All high schools in the Waipin constituency have launched digital libraries, first in Kerala, offering students access to diverse reading material and support for NEET and G preparation. Freedom Squares to promote student entrepreneurship. Kerala Startup Mission is establishing innovation hubs across all 14 districts, offering labs, market space, and monitoring to nurture young entrepreneurs. Each 20,000 square feet space will cost around rupees 4 crore. Kerala University crisis deepens. VC Mohanan Kunnumal and CPM-backed syndicate members are locked in a governance standoff, blocking access to files and delaying meetings, stoking fears of renewed protest by student groups like SFI. BJP alleges rigging in local body delimitation. Kerala BJP claimed the State Election Commission colluded with the ruling CPM and state leaders to manipulate vote boundaries and voter lists in upcoming local elections. Kerala coastal trawling ban extended. A 52-day ban on trawling has been enforced along Kerala's coast through July 31st, alongside approvals for infrastructure hires, renaming caste categories, and launching a 215 crore innovation center at KLIP. Protest over arrest of Keralite nuns. The arrest of two Kerala-born nuns in Chhattisgarh on alleged conversion charges has triggered widespread protests. Political and religious leaders across Kerala condemned the detentions as a violation of constitutional freedoms. India head coach Gautam Gambhir has a heated clash with Oval ground staff during a pitch inspection ahead of the fifth test against England. The confrontation added tensions as India trials 2-1 in the series. That's all for tonight. Thank you for watching. We will be back with more news tomorrow. Good night.